Hey everybody.
Hey everybody, and welcome to What the Fuck Friday, the show we show movies that we just can't show to just Jen. That's how it originally started. And this is this our season opener? I don't remember at this
nope.
point. We've already done one.
We've done a few.
Done a couple. But, you know, it was my turn to pick one, and I figured we'd better go back to the source and do the granddaddy of all What the Fuck Friday movies. However, before we get into that, I'm your old pal, the Moo Cow, a.k.a. Paul A. Presenza, and today we have...
Jonathan Moody, the co-host.
There we go. And joining us is...
Cayt Feinics.
Yay!
Woo!
So, we gathered together to watch John Waters' Pink Flamingos. Woohoo! Which
yes, we did.
you'd never seen before.
And neither had she, right?
Nope.
You'd never seen it either. So you had two Pink Flamingo virgins here.
Broke their Pink Flamingos
Popping
cherry.
that cherry.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. Wow. So, yeah, when I think What the Fuck Fridays, this is What the Fuck kind of a movie. So,
Yeah.
please, I'm dying to hear what you guys had to say about this film.
You want to go first?
Sure. I fucking loved it. This movie is amazing. It's everything I love about film.
Pretty much.
Outstanding.
I actually really, really liked it too, which surprised her. She thought I was hating it. I was cringing a lot.
You cringed a lot, my
That's the
friend.
best part, is that here Paul and I are just barely, like, we're just watching the movie, and then Moody's like, no!
Yes, hiding in his shirt. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh.
That's what made it even
So
better.
what was the most cringe-worthy moment for you? There were
You
a
know
few.
it. You know it.
I'm not sure. There were a few pretty cringy moments.
I mean, I would definitely have to say the prolapse scene, but
That's worse than the dog do scene?
at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
no,
pretty bad too, man.
I mean, it was pretty gross, but, you know, I kind of expected it then. I don't know. I was not expecting the prolapse scene. So, I don't know. I didn't, that almost, I mean, even though it was, yeah, she ate real shit. I mean, I don't know. For some reason, it didn't surprise me at the end.
Were you just numb at that point?
Probably. At the end of the movie, I'm like, okay.
And it's funny because, you know, people, obviously, they get caught up on the gross parts of the film, but if you put that aside, it's a very interesting film with a great soundtrack. And wow, these characters. Have you ever seen characters like this before, ever?
No, but I do know where Neil Breen gets his Breening from.
There you go.
It was literally listening to a Neil Breen movie where it just repeats whatever they say. Like, did you bring me an egg? Did you bring me an egg?
Yeah.
You know?
What did you think about was it Ellie, the egg woman?
Edie.
Yeah.
Edie the egg woman. I liked her. I mean, she was a character. You know,
They all were characters.
they're all characters.
Oh, yeah.
There was nobody there that was normal, except for the people that maybe got caught walking by, you know, or whatever, and they were staring at them. Like,
Going,
those
what
were
the
normal...
fuck is this shit?
They probably both were going, okay, it's, you know, it's this is what happens, you know, in some sides of the town.
So, Cayt, can you briefly kind of encapsulate what this movie is about?
God, it's about so much and so little at the same fucking time.
That's awesome.
It's about trying to be the nastiest people alive.
Filthiest people, yeah.
Or filthiest people, yeah.
As you
For
do.
sure.
Yeah, and I don't know, there's just so much that goes on in it.
The beauty of it is, like, you would think with a movie like this there would be, like, no plot to it, but there was an absolute storyline. I would say it's about the people who think they're the most filthiest people above divine. And they want to have the competition of who's the... I would have liked to see more of that, though. Like, I would have loved to see them both, like, compete in a filthy contest or something. But
I don't know. I think this movie was pretty perfect.
The marbles were pretty damn filthy. I mean, they were kidnapping women, raping them, selling their children to lesbians.
I don't know if that's
nasty.
filthy, though. That's just more disturbing than it is filthy. But then
Yeah.
Divine's just downright
And they
fucking
had,
filthy.
you know, pornographic stores, and they were selling heroin to elementary schools, and I mean, they were pretty
Yeah,
I don't
nasty.
remember
That's-
that part.
Yeah.
But
I mean, but that's more disturbing than it is filthy.
yeah.
Divine's just straight up, I mean, eating shit and stuff.
Mr. Marbles is running around showing everybody his pecker with a sausage
tied to it.
Yeah.
Tied to it. So, I mean, he's trying to be filthy. But, I mean...
The scene that he got shut up was fucking amazing.
That was awesome.
That was great.
That threw Moody off, and that was...
A little bit. I was just like, whoa. Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Just
No,
a little
your
bit.
your reaction. We should have just videotaped you watching this movie.
You know what? I'm surprised we didn't do that because that's those reaction videos are just amazing, and that would have been great.
Yeah,
I just remember years and years ago. I must have been about 20 when I first saw this movie in a midnight showing at the State Theater in Newark. So many times ago, and I remember having some reactions too. I mean, I'd seen a bunch of crazy shit prior, but nothing quite like John Waters. And like I said, to have it with this great soundtrack the whole time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually really want to copy the soundtrack.
Yeah, I mean, they had like really popular songs too and stuff that were just sort of like, intermittent in between this really disgusting, disturbing, like more mainstream, like, good songs that were just like in this filthy movie.
Yeah, it was very, very interesting. Definitely sort of underground theater, definitely, transgressional theater, kind of like one-upmanship. What can we do that's even filthier than the last thing? And that's kind of where he's going at it.
But that's also the plot of the movie.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's also John Waters himself, sticking his thumb at the nose of Hollywood at the time, and we can do whatever movie we want, and this is what we're going to do, and that's it.
So the characters are Babs, played by Divine, she changed her name to Babs Johnson, but she's Divine. And
they're hiding out because clearly they were previously wanted for murder, as they hinted at.
Mm-hmm.
As you do.
And and they're in Baltimore, Maryland. There's Cracker, who you guys are now saying is me. Thanks.
Cotton.
The son that she has sex with occasionally.
Yeah.
As you do, because gotta throw in a little incest too.
There's also the incest with the sister, who I'm not sure if they were technically real.
I don't think that they were actually related. They hinted that Cotton was actually Babs's partner.
Oh, okay. Yes, they did. They did.
Yeah. But then Cotton, and the scene, the cutout scene was that Cotton loved both. So.
Right.
That was kind of cute.
And there's a chicken theme going on. Chickens and eggs.
Yeah, eggs. I mean, who doesn't love eggs?
There was the chicken and eggs thing, and there was that scene. The chicken.
Yeah, for me, I think that was probably the most cringeworthy thing.
I felt really bad for the chicken, but as John Waters pointed out, and later is that the chicken was already going to be killed, and so he might as well have sex with,
Tenderizing it a little bit, is that what you mean?
I don't know. That's what he said. I was just like, oh my god, he's justifying killing chickens on his film.
At least he got to be in a movie before it died.
Yeah.
How many other chickens get that?
I don't know.
Yeah, no, that has always been the roughest part for me. I don't give do what you want to people. I don't care about that. But for animals, that's tough. Yeah. That was rough. Although, the prolapse scene was rough too. 20-year-old me had never seen anything quite like that before. Wow.
I was just like, whatever. This movie.
At that point, I guess, had just got to the point where I'm like, let's just throw that in there.
I mean, and this, I loved everything about it. I mean, minus the chicken part, but nothing really was like,
I mean, I can hear John Waters off camera just saying, "Come on, show us your lungs." Eek. Yeah, wow, you could have driven a freight train up there.
But you said at some point Edie was going to get naked or something.
I was kidding.
Okay.
I wanted to plant a seed of dread in your mind.
I literally thought the whole time, I'm like, okay, when is the scene coming?
When's that coming?
When is that? Is that coming later? Oh my god.
Well, this is the kind of movie you could say something like that and people are going to believe you.
I know. I mean, I was already, prepared, and I was like, shit. But, I mean, whatever.
I'm really...
Rate.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say at that rate, I was just like, just fuck it,
I'm really happy I went into this movie blind though.
Yeah, I did too. I didn't see any trailers.
There was a lot of penis, and it was like you said. It's pretty much an X-rated movie. This was pretty much pornography at this point.
Right. It was a pornographic indie movie, or whatever, like / indie movie. So
although it's not a porn movie,
it's not a porn. This could have been used for a sexploitation sleazecast too.
It could have been, except the idea wasn't really to do a porn movie or to do.
It wasn't focusing on the sex.
It just has Divine sucking off her supposed child, as you do, apparently. Flaccid.
Or incest.
He wasn't particularly into it, it would seem.
Or a guy jacking off into a little syringe.
So in his hand, and then he sucked it up with syringe.
Yeah, that part was a little rough too. Seeing the women abused in the basement. That wasn't very happy.
No,
but they get their revenge.
They get their revenge, and
little last house on the left there.
And that was really sweet. Like Divine, it showed Divine really fucking hated these people that much that she didn't know these people, and these people don't deserve to be in chains and be locked up here.
So I'm curious what you think as a writer about the dialogue.
Oh yeah, I just said it was trash. Like it repeats itself a lot. It almost felt like a lot of it was made up on the spot, like improv or something, where maybe a little bit because they probably didn't know all the lines exactly.
Well, to me, it's like it kind of is the opposite of most writing for film, where usually you go in there thinking, okay, let's use 3 words instead of using 20. Mm-hmm. This is the opposite. Instead of using 3 words, John Waters would use 50. To tell you exactly what's going on, and then you would just get this cavalcade of words and language just telling you what you pretty much already know.
Yeah.
But I feel like the characters wouldn't have as much of an impact if they didn't.
Right.
I feel like it really defined and made them stand out, because this was very much a character-driven, not just a... The plot was there, but the characters are really what carried the movie.
Right.
And, the actors... you could tell they were having fun doing this movie.
Oh, hell yeah. The party scene alone, everybody is having a good time.
You said that you thought that they were actually having a party.
Oh, no, 100%.
Probably.
I guarantee that they were actually genuinely having a party, filmed all of it, filmed everyone's reactions to things, and just went with it.
It picked up. I mean, the first 15 minutes... It's a little slow.
I mean, it wasn't that slow though. We've seen slow.
Oh yeah, we've seen slow, but
we watched slow last night.
And that's what I'm saying.
But it wasn't like the rest of the movie, completely was different.
No, and I was saying the time flew by after a while.
It was boom.
It was. I looked at the TV or the DVD player to see. I was like, oh my god, we only got a half hour left of this movie.
So do you think there was a filthy subject that was not touched on in this particular film?
I mean, probably, but I mean, it tried to do as much as it could.
There was even cannibalism. They called the fake cops and
cannibalism,
they got killed and eaten, as you do.
Some weird bestiality,
right?
Bestiality, incest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was trying to be the filthiest movie around, and even in the trailers, people were saying this is the most filthy movie that and stuff. So
I mean, I've seen worse or pretty bad fetishes, but to each their own on that.
Oh yeah. Lucifer Valentine, if you've seen any of his movies, Slaughter Vomit Dolls or anything like that, those are harder to get through, trust me.
I won't watch those because I'll get sick myself. So
I don't typically I was telling Paul when we took a break for a second. I was telling Paul later you were not in the room, but I was like, this is not a movie I'd probably watch again.
Oh, no, I 100% would watch this movie again.
Oh,
I would
yeah.
show people this movie.
Right.
Oh, you haven't seen this movie? Let me put this on.
Right.
Oh, I'm having company over? Let me put this on in the background.
Yeah,
Hell
Grandma's coming. We're putting this movie on.
I don't want to give my grandmother a heart attack and her die. Thank you very much. But anybody else,
Well, I mean, but that's more you guys anyway.
Right.
That's not my kind of thing. I'm just, what I was happy about was saying, well, first of all, Paul's been dying to show me this
Oh yeah.
for a long time.
Oh yeah.
And I keep saying no. And Mainly because it's just me here with him, and I don't know. I'm just not.
So because I said yes.
Yes.
There you go. There you
It
go.
was you,
I had
Cayt.
the final say. Yes.
No, because you said you wanted to watch it.
Yeah.
We wanted to do What the Fuck Friday, and I said sure.
The
I'd
timing
love
was
to do
right.
it.
Yes.
And then also I wanted to say that I actually had seen it, so that if anybody asks, because people ask me sometimes, you've never seen Pink Flamingos? And I'm like, no, I haven't. And now I can say, I've seen it. What did you think? It was great. Don't ever want to watch it again. It was great.
Like, what makes you go, I really don't want to watch this movie again, even
It's
though
just-
it's a brilliant fucking movie?
Because it doesn't. Okay, so my only problem with the movie is that it just doesn't have enough stuff that like entertains me personally. Like, I don't want to see disturbing stuff all the time, and things like that. I don't want to see things.
Yeah,
that...
you watch like the shittiest of the shittiest
right?
movies.
But I won't. I mean, okay, so I watched one movie twice, and that was just to check on it first, and then to watch it. I'd probably never watch that movie again. However,
So you say now.
that's what I say now. No, I can't predict the future. I'm just saying I'm not planning to. However, this movie. I mean, look, if somebody wanted to watch it with me or whatever, and since I've already seen it, I can, I know what's coming, So like the prolapse scene, I can be like, like I already know what's coming.
But the thing is, you've seen John Waters movies, but you've seen his later stuff. You
I saw
haven't seen
like
his
Cecil B.
early stuff.
Demented
Right.
and Serial Mom, and
Slightly different.
they are. They're
More
very
Hollywood.
different. They're more Hollywood. They're more, slick and
There's no
polished.
Johnny Depp prolapse scene in Crybaby.
There should be.
That would have been very interesting,
If anyone would have done it, maybe Johnny Depp would have done it too.
I mean,
Like
who knows?
he's a fucking crazy guy.
There you go. Well, the John Waters universe changed when most of his earlier folks that he did a lot of work with either died or went off and did other things.
Mm-hmm.
Mink Stoll was kind of the only other one who really stuck around a bit longer.
How long did she last?
She came in and out of various other films, and then she came back for some of the later ones, and she still does some.
Oh, she's
some
still
stuff.
alive?
Oh yeah, she
All
does.
right.
She
I'm
does
not-
some work.
I'm just surprised because like Divine is dead, and you said one of the was the
Oh yeah.
Mr. Eggman.
I
or
forget his
something?
name. Yeah, the actor,
Yeah.
the who played the one with the blue hair.
Oh, the blue hair guy. Okay.
He died.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's his
There are
freaking
several
name.
Sad.
of John
I like
Waters'
that guy.
original troupe that are no longer with us. So
Raymond was the guy.
yeah.
yeah,
So
Connie.
you're not going to get a lot of those people. And let's face it, this is Balmer, people. Okay, this is downtown, crazy part of town Balmer. You are not going to find most people like that in LA. I mean, you go to Hollywood, there's some crazy shit,
Oh,
but
there's some
not
freaky
quite like
people
that.
there, but they're
Not quite like that.
But see, okay, so we compared this before to Ed. We talked about Ed Wood, right?
Right.
Like Ed Wood probably seen this movie or
Right.
something. Ed Wood. This is what Ed Wood did. He grabbed his friends and he said, "I'm gonna put you in a movie, and you're weird and quirky and whatever, but you're gonna fit in this weird, quirky movie."
Right.
That's what John Waters did,
This is like Take It Out in Trade, which I don't think you've seen.
which is an Ed Wood movie.
Which is an Ed Wood movie. It's not quite what's going
It's a
on
little
here.
It's more like a sex film, isn't it?
Yeah, but it definitely has some elements of John Waters in it, although nothing at this level. So that's pretty interesting. So yeah, when this movie came out, I mean, this really sort of set off like a little atom bomb in the indie community. So
Yeah, good.
it's very, very influential, and yeah, it's one of those things where anybody who's done either writing or directing has seen this film. Although even, I don't know about today, some of the younger ones, but
I had never seen a Divine film before. I mentioned that earlier, and Kate was like, "You haven't?" She was shocked. But I just, I mean, a lot of those things are earlier John Waters films, and earlier John Waters films. I just never, I never watched Crybaby. I know of it. I just never
I love
watched it.
Crybaby.
And the thing
Or
is
Hairspray.
that you can get I think it's the first 5 of John Waters movies on Blu-ray that Criterion has put out. So I think it's called like John Waters 5 films, something like that.
And Pink Flamingos is one of them.
Pink Flamingos is definitely one of them. Although it's funny, I did not expect the little bit at the end where John Waters comes back and says, "Oh, I found extra footage of mine."
So this is a
my
Criterion
attic.
release, or
Not this particular
Okay.
one.
No.
No. Yeah, my friend had a DVD, had a VHS copy, and I saw it in the State Theater. That's the only other place I'd found it. But I didn't really have a copy for a long, long time, and then I finally got the DVD. But I don't have the Blu-ray yet. I do want to get that because you get all you
The
get
extras
5 of
and
them.
stuff.
Right.
You get extras too, because Criterion's really good on extras, and John Waters, I mean, you could already tell he loves talking about his movie.
Well, I want to rewatch this actually with his commentary.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know about what he thought of the scenes, what made him do specific things. You know, essentially what weird shit went on behind the scenes, and because I mean, this was literally his friends in a movie.
And these guys went all out. They did all kinds of shit. I mean, you gotta wonder where he dug up some of these folks.
So I don't know,
like-minded people. I mean,
and some of them were probably sex work people.
probably
You know, doing stuff that didn't really
that didn't bother them.
Right.
I'm sure some of these people were in porn and such. So
yeah.
Prolapse guy.
Yeah.
You were talking about that John Waters kind of dipped his hands into some of that stuff before too, right?
I think so. I think he worked in an adult theater for a while, and I think he's done some other stuff too. And that shows through. He had a lot of interesting posters in the.
I know. I kind of want some of those posters.
Yeah.
So.
There was one that was called Boom or whatever, and that looked like it.
Oh, that's
Is that a real
that's
Hollywood movie? Because
that's
Elizabeth
Taylor
and
I think is it Rock Hudson or
something.
Yeah, no, that's Tennessee Williams written.
Okay.
Thing.
Okay. Because then the rest were like porn ones, and I was like, wait.
Baby Doll was one, and I forget a couple of the other ones.
Yeah, it was hard to see some of the titles on them.
They were some vintage porn posters, which is interesting.
And you were saying they might have been his movies or something?
Yeah, from what I understand, John Waters has a massive collection of memorabilia from that period and from adult stuff and just all kinds of crazy, wacky shit.
Well, because who was keeping it? You know, I mean, they would get rid of all that stuff, so finding it now is really hard.
Yeah, he's got a treasure trove of weird and wacky stuff, from what I gather. I would love to interview him, and maybe we can get him on, the spotlight. I don't know if we'd ever get that lucky, but you never know. I mean, he shows up at conventions.
He does. I've been at a convention that he was at.
Nice.
Yeah, he would
I just
definitely
didn't have the money
get.
to meet him.
Sure.
You want to work with him badly.
I would fucking work with him.
Absolutely, I would
down.
too. I wouldn't do some of those things, but I'd be in the
Cayt
movie.
would.
There's not much that phases me on this stuff anymore.
Well, and let's face it, there are people that want to see Cayt doing stuff.
Oh,
Nobody wants to see me doing this stuff.
No, people want to see you in a little playpen.
I'll do that. Yes.
Asking
You just
for
gotta wear a
eggs.
bib and
Give me the
little bonnet,
Eggman.
the rattle.
Oh, please, give me more eggs, Mr.
More
Eggman.
Mr. Eggman, he was my favorite character. I loved him. He was so I'll give you this egg, and then I'll give you 1,000,000 eggs. If you come with me, all the whitest of the white eggs. And I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, she's unfortunately passed away too.
Well, it's been long. She would be old.
Right.
Old,
God, yeah, 1972. So
yeah.
God,
Now, I do have a question for you that you may or may not know, and maybe Kate knows too. But New Line Cinema really blew up in 1984, so they were around in 1972.
Yeah, they were.
Wow.
How the fuck did they manage? Who bought this one for them? That's what I want to know.
Robert Shea was like,
glad they did, but wow.
Yeah, Bob Shea was like, hey, we need this movie.
Wow, that's some forward thinking there.
It was before Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street was when they sort of kind of went a little bit more, got a little bit more legitimacy and stuff.
Well, and then the other thing too is early 70s, late 60s, early 70s is when, porn became legit, and you could actually go to 42nd Street in downtown New York City and see a pornographic film in an actual regular theater. And there'd be lines.
Been alive then.
Yeah, they're the Devil and Miss Jones.
Hell yeah,
they
you
have
never know
lines,
if you're gonna get fucking
lines around the block. So
with
if you were going to put out a movie like that, that was the time. That was sort of the golden era of mainstream pornography when it crossed over.
Well, I mean, in the fact that the movie was shown at midnight. Who's out at midnight? The freaks and the creeps.
There you go. Just like us.
Yeah, exactly.
Before the world became, Disneyfied and Walmarted and corporate, there was room for weird shit. I mean, New York City used to have some weird, crazy, wacky, dangerous places, but at least it had character, and you could go and see movies like this.
There is a place for that. These days, it's really, you have to find it, because and people like really, really low budget, like distributors would have to put it out, because obviously Hollywood wouldn't put it out, but like more indie stuff, so it does exist. It's just you have to look for it.
Yeah, the golden age is gone. I mean, even LA, Sunset Boulevard was pretty much all, blocks and blocks of that kind of a thing, and it's.
Well, I mean, there's a reason it's called the golden age of porn and such. So.
I mean, I think Bourbon Street's probably still a little bit like that.
Probably.
But like, yeah, you're right.
South Street, Philadelphia is no longer the same kind of a place now either. It's become very, very corporate, and it's just a little time capsule of the sort of stuff that people could do. And there was more of a freedom back then with some of the larger theaters. You could actually make something like this. There's no way in hell anybody in a major motion picture production company is going to make this or release it or have anything to do with it.
Yeah, no.
I'm not even sure Troma would.
I don't think New Line would remake this.
No, but I think Lloyd would love it.
Oh God, I'd love to talk to Lloyd about this. I'm sure he saw it and was like, "Wow, this is awesome."
I'm sure he saw it when it came out.
Sure. He must have loved it.
I mean, who wouldn't?
I mean,
it is like it's a class of its own.
All right, an interesting mashup of Pink Flamingos and Poultrygeist would be fun.
That would be fun. Now let's talk about the title, Pink Flamingos. So obviously, the Pink Flamingos talking about the pink flamingos in the yard. So I knew that. Like I had a feeling when because of what Pink Flamingos kind of represents. But to me, like, that is what the movie sort of talking about. That this is trashy, white trash kind of movie trailer,
right.
Trailer stuff, and this is what that just encapsulates everything. Then you pointed out that you see the after the place burns down, the trailer burns down. So does the pink flamingo, and so that's sort of, I feel like, even if it wasn't meant to be, it's sort of symbolic for the movie itself,
Oh no,
sure.
I think anything John Waters does is 100% intentional.
Right.
I don't think there's an accident in this, so I think the focus on that at that point too. I definitely think he meant it.
I think it was showing that the Times was going to switch at that particular moment, because they were, I mean, when you saw them, they were pissed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And everything.
But the idea that Divine will live on, she'll just go to another town, change her name, and bam.
And let's not forget, I mean, yes, there's a lot of artsy, interesting, cool stuff about this film, but it's still what the fuck. There's still a lot of scenes and a lot of stuff in this that's going to haunt your nightmares, trust me. And you need to see it just for that alone.
Did I miss the Marbles ever talking about how they found out about Divine? Because they just, from the very start, we kind of see...
Well, from the newspaper.
Yeah,
from the newspaper.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's on the front headline, yeah.
So
and that's why she
jealous.
was reading it and was getting mad at the newspaper.
Okay.
And was trying to find someone specifically to go get dirt on Divine.
Right.
Yeah, that one lady was not able to figure out anything about
didn't
Divine.
even know Divine, so...
Yeah. And then was it Cookie figured it out, and we saw the deleted scene where she got killed, and I'm like, I get it, but like, in a way, I'm kind of glad we didn't have that scene, because it just would have,
not to put any words in John Waters' mouth, but I wonder if a lot of this idea of the filthiest people alive and just pushing everything to its extremes is a way of his commenting on just sort of the art scene at that period, where, I mean, that's the Andy Warhol period, and that's, a lot of art, the classic art was already done, so they were pushing a lot of boundaries and just kind of going crazy and doing a lot of weird, wacky stuff, and it's like, oh, well, you've cheapened it to such a point where, okay, well, we can make trash stuff too. And, speaking of which, I mean, that's also the Andy Warhol movies were also around this time period too, so they kind of fed into each other a little bit. And this is like, oh, you're doing Lust for Dracula. Well, we can up you on this, So yeah, that's interesting. I'd love to talk to him about that, just to see what he has to say. You know,
he did what is it? Desperate Living. He did all these different things at that time to just kind of like let's kind of push the boundaries and everything, but in a way that it was very artsy. I mean, this
was very much an art film.
Yeah. You'd asked me before if I was a fan of art films or something like that, I think, or whatever the art film stuff. I'm not, but like I respected this. Like I respect them. That's just not my kind of movie. Like
I love them.
It really sits in the mold of transgressional theater. I mean, and that's kind of like Nick said, does a lot of that, and there's a lot of the Richard Kearns, you could say, kind of does some of that, and that was like a big thing, especially in New York City in the 70s and early 80s, and there's definitely a lot of that in this film as well, which is why it's not just a notorious stinker out there. This is actually on Criterion's list, because this is kind of one of the kings of that kind of transgressional theater.
I mean, okay, so I'm not gonna lie. Before I watched this movie, I was like, why would Criterion put this out? Mm-hmm. Because I didn't know it or whatever. I hadn't seen it. Now that I've seen it, I'm like, I get it. Like, I totally get it. This is for that type of film. This is the king of that type of film.
And if a film like this were to be made now, essentially it would be, oh well, that's already been done.
Right.
So the idea that it has an impact on future film and how we perceive film, I mean, and the fact that a drag queen was represented in film as well was a huge thing. Even the scenes where people are watching Divine walking down the street, I mean, that there alone, seeing their reactions, how she was perceived.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I think Divine probably helped make drag queens more acceptable and more
100%.
cool. I mean, before that, I can't think of one. But now, I mean, even mainstream media knows who Divine was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
which is great.
And they all love her. I mean, she was divine. And it really fit with her name.
And I love the fact that they went to school together and they were friends, and movie making was a way that they could sort of do their thing together, and that's what at least the first 3 or so movies are like. And of course, Divine was in some of his later ones too, but the first 3 or 4 are the hardcore John Waters movies that you have to watch. So we might do another one at some point.
Yeah, probably not for What the Fuck Friday, because I mean, this is the king of What the Fuck Friday.
True, and it was
Queen.
Queen.
I corrected myself before saying something.
Yeah,
and
so
when
when
I was coming up with the concept of the What the Fuck Friday movie, this is definitely one of the first movies I was like, oh yeah, this we got to show, and we got to do Singapore Sling, and you mentioned Salo. That's probably a good one for that.
God, Salo is.
Yeah.
That one's a little bit. It's very much what the fuck, but it's also very. It sits with
artsy,
you.
And it's also Criterion.
Well, it's Marquis de Sade, and it's a commentary on the Italian regime.
100 Days of Sodom. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty. It's good. It's also shocking.
That's a movie I'll never watch again.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you said you had like some movies that you have on your like never watch again.
Yeah, and that's on
stuff.
There. But it's a movie you have to watch.
Yeah,
you have to see.
I
at
would
least
say
once.
so too.
Yeah,
and this was like one of those movies. Like you say, you'll watch it over and over again. You obviously you love watching it over and over again.
Yeah, if you're going to be a movie person, and you sort of need to show the breadth of your movie watching experience, even if you didn't particularly like it or want to see it.
I did
it's
like
useful.
it. It's just one of those movies. It's just gonna be so kind of like, and I might see it again. If somebody had wanted to watch it that hadn't watched it, or that was a huge fan and just wanted to,
Sorry, what did you say?
I'd love to go see this at a drive-in.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
That's why I want to own a drive-in theater. I would just show shit like this all the time.
You should buy one in Florida.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Actually, that's like the best. Yeah, that would be the best.
You could serve chicken and eggs. That would be fun.
Yes.
Oh my god.
How
Do it.
awesome! How awesome would you be if you show up on a Halloween party dressed as one of those characters and people recognize you?
Yeah.
That your cool meter would go right off the charts.
I really did like was it Miss Marble's glasses? I really like
The cat eye.
Yeah, I always love those things. Every time I see them, I'm like, I can't rock them, but I'm glad somebody can.
My driving glasses are cat eye glasses.
There
Are
you
they?
go.
They're not as pronounced as hers, but yeah, they're cat eye.
Cute.
Well, all I can tell you is if you're looking for a movie that is very, very, very different, and not only different, but, one of the touchstone different kinds of movies, and you're in a what the fuck Friday kind of mood, this is your film.
I agree.
Especially if you're looking for a great comedy.
Right, and especially if the only John Waters movies you've seen are his later Hollywood films, which are, okay, but they're not really representative of his early work at all.
I did like Pecker a lot.
Pecker was fun.
Yeah, Edward Furlong and Pecker.
Yes.
No, it's
I
good.
like that as well.
But but it was it felt like it was the mainstream version of what he used to do, and he kind of. I mean, he didn't sell out. But
Well, and the thing is,
but think about it. How do you top this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's done it. He did this story. He wants to do other stories.
He was
so
the
I understand.
inventor of this, essentially. So if he did this, why is he going to go back and just keep doing the same thing?
Exactly.
So
I agree. And I like how it's John Waters' Pink Flamingos. You know, it's not just Pink Flamingos.
Not Akira Kurosawa's Pink Flamingos. That's a very different film.
I would want to see that Pink Flamingo just to see what Kurosawa would have done differently.
Yes. How fun
More
would
samurais.
that be? How fun would that be to take like famous directors and do their versions of Pink Flamingos? I would love to do that.
Kevin Smith's Pink
There
Flamingos.
you go. There you go.
It'd be a little bit more like Tusk.
I would love to hear what Kevin Smith had to say about this film.
I mean,
Love
Tusk
it.
is a really fucking what the fuck movie.
it
We'll have
is.
to do that
It
at
is.
some point.
Yes,
For sure.
absolutely. Have you seen Tusk?
no, it's none to watch, Zach.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you all very, very much for joining us on this episode of What the Fuck Fridays. Please tune in next time. God knows what we're going to drag kicking and screaming into the light for you guys to see, but it'll be something juicy. It'll be something crazy, and it'll be something that Jen would punch me in the arm if I made her watch it. So there you go.
There you go. That's how you describe it.
Pretty much.
Well, thank you guys so much for checking this out. Join us next month for a whole new episode.
All right. And thank you, Cayt, for joining us.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Cayt.
thank you
Woo!
for
I
having me.
appreciate it.
Awesome. All right, bye, guys.
Bye.
What the fuck?
Oh, Mr. Eggman, give me a prolapse.